Audio Jungle.
Welcome back to the Grow Smarter podcast about all things HubSpot and business growth. And we've just come back, Tony and I have just come back from HubSpot's annual conference Inbound in San Francisco this year. And Paola joins us today as well. Welcome, Paola.
Hello, everyone.
Unfortunately, Paola is in mad preparation for her wedding, so was unable to come this year. But she's joined us today to sort of ask the questions and things that other people might be thinking of as well. So yeah, Paola, I'll let you sort of take away our plan for today.
Yeah, well, obviously I'm super curious because we know that there's been so many announcements. Even I was lucky to go last year, and I know how it is. It's like really inspiring, and there's so much going on. So definitely we have a lot of questions and things to catch up on. But first of all, like especially you, Nath, because this is your third time already being there.
Yep.
So how was it? What was the general feeling?
So obviously it was a different vibe being in San Francisco, but it was a massive conference centre. The Moscone Centre was huge, wasn't it, Tony? Just massive rooms. I don't know whether the content was different or whether I just paid attention to certain sessions more, but there seemed to be a lot more technical things and tools going on rather than inspirational talks. Now, that might have just been my selections, but I felt like in previous years there was a lot of inspirational talks, whereas this was a lot more nitty-gritty. I must admit I did pay a lot more attention to the HubSpot hosted sessions, and so I got a lot of the new tools, AI tools in particular, and all the new features, and there were hundreds, and then literally hundreds of releases that week on HubSpot.
Yeah.
So it was pretty hard to absorb it all. Even now, thinking back, it's very hard to actually remember everything that was put in front of us because there was so many things. Some of it released, some of it to be released, some of it's in beta, and so you have to get access to it or apply for access to it to actually see it yet. So, yeah, it was fairly intense, I'll say that.
It definitely is. And what about you, Tony? Because it was your first time, so I don't know if it matched your expectations or surprised you.
Yeah, it was big. I wasn't aware. Well, not aware, but I wasn't sure how big this event was going to be. And like the first day is more of a partners day, so it's a little bit more low key, and it's just more of a partners day. So it was a little bit quieter, and I was like, oh, this is all right. And then the next day was open to everyone, and it was massive. You know, I don't know how many people were there. 10, 20,000 people there. It was pretty big.
Don't know, but I know pre-COVID times they said it was 20,000 people. I don't know if it was 20,000, but
yeah, we'll say 20,000.
Let's just close.
Yeah, right. Well, so for those who doesn't know, like Inbound is HubSpot's biggest conference. So basically, it's a Disneyland for marketers. We have not only HubSpot as the main company and the organizer, but there's so many companies and tools that everyone uses. So I think my take from last year, and I was so excited for you, Tony, to also experience it this year, was that you suddenly talking with people who works in the biggest companies. Like we were sitting on tables next to a LinkedIn person, and I talked to like the product manager of TikTok, and it's just you have that access and that knowledge is just really good. So I'm very excited.
That's
for
one
you
thing.
guys.
It's kind of humbling when you go over there because we're so small, and the market we play in Australia is so small. And you know we're in a micro market of that being in Geelong ourselves. And then when we're talking to people, the American idea of a small business is like 100 employees, 200 employees. That's considered a very small business over there. And you know we're sitting here with our team of 10.
Yeah, but I think
we're ants.
Yeah, I know. In that scale, yes, you definitely feel smaller when you go to America where there's big international companies. But I think maybe it's a point that we can touch back on later on because we know that there's been a little bit of shifting and also in the perception of sizes of company and what a small team now can achieve.
Absolutely.
So I think the game is really changing for small business, which is exciting. So, but let's keep talking about the conference in particular. So what was your first reaction when you heard about the new growth playbook that HubSpot is presenting?
Well, we weren't surprised.
It's called the Loop, by the way.
Yeah, so Loop Marketing got announced as the new playbook for this sort of AI era of marketing. And Yamini, the CEO, she basically introduced that to the audience. I think, Tony, you saw that firsthand at the Partners Day, which I unfortunately missed. But the big thing was the old method, the old way, which is a bit awkward for HubSpot because their conference is called Inbound. But inbound marketing has probably changed forever now that AI has come in, and people aren't searching and researching and going through the traditional buyer's journey the same way that they used to. And so this loop marketing playbook was introduced as a new way of implementing a marketing plan or a strategy that's quicker, has multiple entry points, and allows you to leverage AI basically to scale your marketing. So it's an interesting time. The old awareness, consideration, decision stage, it still probably exists, but you can't rely solely on that method anymore.
Yeah. Basically, I think what they say is exactly that. It's not predictable anymore. People might interact with your company in different stages. And what we need to keep going is sort of that momentum of people might discover you in so many different ways. So it's not that predictable for us anymore.
It's so much quicker, and there's so many more platforms, and people are gathering information from so many different places now. It's just changing so fast.
Absolutely.
So blogging, is still the hot topic because blogging was the traditional inbound marketing method, is to attract people in that early stage, but it's sort of shifted now. It's still a part of marketing, absolutely, but it's more to optimize for answer engines, AEO.
AI.
Yeah, that was a massive topic as well. So that's a massive shift.
Yeah, so the big stat that came along with the playbook is that 60% of Google searches now result in 0 clicks. So that's pretty shocking. I don't know whether that's American stats, whether that's the same in Australia. I know they're a little bit ahead of us in terms of what Google rolls out, but everyone would have seen by now in Australia the AI overviews in Google search results. Not all searches, but in certain searches. And so people just don't end up on your website anymore to do that research. So you can't retarget them with ads. You can't try and capture their details on a lead form. So it's changed, it's shifted. And a lot of the talk was about being found in AEO or AI overview results. Traffic from those sources actually generates more revenue, and it ends up being a more profitable approach.
Yeah, less visitors, but
more revenue.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the question became, well, do you really care about traffic or do you care about revenue? And actually, we only want the traffic to get the revenue. So it's just a shift in mindset.
It's a more qualified lead coming through to your website.
Yeah.
And that's going to probably be a shift as well in the education and how we approach the results that we expect, right? So perhaps and probably it's going to happen that traffic is going to drop. For most people, that's going to happen. That's going to happen.
Potentially leads are going to drop. But you might find that your lead quality improves over time. There's a lot of shifting expectations coming, and this is early days. The playbook's only just been released, right?
Yeah.
And so we're all quickly grappling to sort of get a hold of it. The truth is everybody's adapting, and it's changing not even month to month, not even week to week. It's changing day to day at the moment.
I know, so fast.
It's all about reviewing data, optimizing, making quick iterations, and strategies that we would implement in the past for 6 months, 12 months time. We're reviewing and repeating and optimizing on a monthly, weekly basis now. It's quicker, much faster. You have to adapt, or you get left behind.
Yeah. Well, I do remember last year they said AI was probably a newest concept. And I think now everything got better to actually, serve the purpose better. And it's just not using AI for the sake of AI. But I do remember saying that AI is here for acceleration, but then the next stage is how that transforms your business. And I think we are starting that path.
Yeah, still early stages, I think. I think Neil Patel might have asked the question of the crowd who was using AI in their business, and of course everyone put their hand up. And then I think this follow-up question was who's actually generating more revenue in their business because of AI, and I don't think many people put their hand up.
Yeah.
So it's still, businesses are still learning and working out how they can actually use these tools to their advantage.
Yeah, that's so true. So just to recap really quickly what it meant, the loop framework, it's basically 4 continuing stages. It's not even in an order. It's all happening sort of
No, the customer could enter it at any one of these stages.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And basically what they propose or recommend are like 4 pillars. One is express, which means sort of like you have to be very clear in the messaging of your company and the way you communicate. Like have like the tone of voice is very important. Your values, you have to be very clear in that sort of personality of your brand.
Targeting your ideal customer as well. So it has to be that voice that matches what your ideal customer wants.
Your persona, yeah.
Yeah.
Which isn't just one person a lot of the time too. So,
Exactly.
a lot of customers go, we just got one message, but, you could have 5 or 6 different clients or 5 or 6 different customers that you need to really specify and target.
That is very true. Yeah, and that's related with the second sort of pillar, which is tailor, which is, we're going to talk about this later a little bit, but it's like just not about personalization, but being really personal. Like that's such a demand out there. Like people really want to feel very seen. So how you make your communications that go to a lot of people like feel like individual, like really personal. Then amplify, and I think here's where AI has a strong sort of like role, is like we need to be everywhere. Multi-channel, everywhere, scale. So you're gonna need the help of tools to repurpose your content and be everywhere, really. And then evolve. And this is the point that you were saying, Nathan, that now we can't really afford or take the time of 6 months to prove a strategy. We need, now with AI and the ability of processing data, we need to be able to shift and change quick.
And you can sort of see how each one feeds each other. So in order to tailor your messaging and your content to your customers, you need that express stage really refined and on point, because if you don't have the ideal tone of voice for your ideal customer, you can't tailor the message to them
Exactly.
in a personal way.
Yeah.
You can see there was a concept from HubSpot, which was the flywheel, which is all about generating growth in your business. This is slightly, that's a more abstract view, but this is more about the marketing activities. But you can see a continuous model actually makes a lot more sense to me. So you can definitely look forward to Pixel adopting this moving forward.
No, we're doing a lot of changes. We have a lot of work to do, but it's exciting though. I know it sounds a bit overwhelming with changes. Even myself, when I was getting all the emails about all the new features and products, I'm like, oh my gosh. But we have the tools. It's all about like implementing them. But it is an exciting time.
Yeah.
So we spoke about the new framework, the Loop, which is basically is going to change the way that we think about marketing, right? Then we talk about how SEO is changing now. So we try to, instead of ranking our website, we're trying to appear in the AI search with our answers and get traffic through there. But then we talk about AI agents, which is a massive part of HubSpot. And I know you, Nathan, we were like making a lot of comments about a couple ones that are very important, especially for sales.
Well, they brought out they mentioned it at the last inbound, but they didn't quite get to release in that year. So it's been a little bit of a wait for some of them. The most popular one that came out in the last year was the customer agent, which basically allows like a chat bot on your website that takes information from your website, from your tickets, knowledge base, all of your CRM data to provide customers the best possible answers. So that was pretty cool. But that was just the starting point. So the most interesting one from a sales perspective is the prospecting agent, which allows you to set up segments of your CRM, and it will identify key moments with contacts in your database based on activity that they might have taken on your website or on your forms, maybe even opened to emails or had a meeting or phone calls. But it can also perform research on the internet for like looking for company announcements, say if a company received funding or expanded into a new region. And it can use the power of AI to identify trigger points of the best possible time to reach out to those contacts. And so it will draft an email that is just hyper personal, and they're getting rid of the word personalized, personal to that contact, because it's only for that person. It's not just a name token and insert company name in a template. It's going to craft a really personal email about what's going on in that contact's journey to try and prompt a response back from them. So, and there's 2 modes you can run this in. So initially everyone is suggested to do this in the sort of approval mode, where it will, in your sales dashboard, it'll say, hey, Paola's just looked at your website and I've noticed that her company has launched a new office in Melbourne. I've drafted an email. Would you like to send it? And you just hit yep. And it will go away and send that email to Paola. And then the idea is that it could do a series of emails until you reply to me, and then maybe we'll connect and have a meeting. Once you fine tune it, the voice and everything that it's sending out, and you give it the right instructions, if you're happy, you can set it on autonomous mode and it will just send those emails automatically.
That's crazy.
And if you can imagine, if you had a fairly large database of prospects, the scale of that, where your sales teams only need to follow up on the people that are engaged with you, that are actually replying back to you, that is going to cut a lot of cold outreach that sales teams are doing right now.
Yeah, it just like free up your time to actually, do the most important job, like the actual connection and leverage of a warm lead. It's crazy. I don't know if you agree with me, but basically the area of HubSpot sales have, I think, is probably one of the favorites from our clients, or at least one that you can clearly see a lot of impact when it's being used properly.
Well, I think that's even globally. HubSpot themselves recognise that Sales Hub's become probably the leading product for them. And, we've experienced tough times in the economy globally, sales-wise. I think every country has experienced that, not just Australia. So the demand is sales. Businesses want sales. We even see that from our marketing clients, and it's really interesting. And, another reason why the loop has sort of become this thing is that sales and marketing are kind of overlapping now.
Yeah.
And clients that we work with, they don't just want marketing anymore. They want the sales. They're relying on their marketing team to get them sales. So that shift in mindset, has made the Sales Hub in HubSpot really popular. People want these tools to try and increase their sales.
Yeah, that's so amazing. And also, I think inevitable sales have, in order to convert a sale, it needs a lot of like marketing assets in the middle in that journey. And I think for us is sometimes we ended up giving a lot of advice and setup and recommendation for those sales sort of stages, because if we provide you leads, but then you don't convert those leads, then there's no point, or there's no way to claim a good result, which is obviously a sale. But that's very exciting. Tone, I think Nathan mentioned a little bit about how we can personalize or make emails more personal now with HubSpot, and I feel like you were mentioning that got you really excited.
Yeah, it was great. It's they did discuss a little bit more about personalizing just marketing in general as well. In the past, we just changed the name at the top of an email, and that was suffice, But the way everything is now, and there's so much data coming at people now, so much information coming at people with marketing, it's just like you just ignore it and you just flick it onto the next thing. So one way that they're trying to counter that is by really personalising stuff. So Nathan already sort of mentioned it. You can go in now with HubSpot and really personalize specific information within it, and then it'll keep that information on that contact within HubSpot. So, whether a person works a particular job, or they work in a particular industry, or they attended a particular event, HubSpot can keep that information, and when you create an email for that particular person, it can change it, the content of the email for that particular person, and like that's massive. And like you said, if you've got a database of hundreds of thousands of people, like if you can really tailor an email to a particular person, like, oh, hey, it was great to see you at that event on the weekend, or, we've just heard some great news about your industry. Like that sort of stuff really stands out. It's not just a generic, hi, Steve, great to see you were here again. It's any way you can tailor information to a particular person is, it sort of pulls it, not the heartstring a little bit, but, it really thinks like, oh, okay, these people are actually paying attention. These people actually give a stuff about what I do or my business or any sort of thing like that. So it's it's interesting. There's some great information coming out. HubSpot, since the actual HubSpot event or the inbound event, they've actually been shooting us some emails, some more information, some recaps on some of the seminars. So Yeah, there's some great stuff coming out in the next few weeks.
It's interesting, isn't it, that, everyone's going to be on AI really, and you can detect it. I think you can smell it when someone gives you a really crap AI result.
Oh, yes.
And so it's not going to be a question of who's on AI. It's going to be who's doing AI well.
Yeah.
I think it's going to become the norm. But if, like you said, all that data, that personalized data that's driving your AI, if you can do that well, then they're the companies that are going to succeed.
Well, it's prompting too, right? Like, yourself, like typing stuff into AI, like, hey, what is this? Like, if your prompts aren't that great, you're not going to get great answers. So I think a lot of the stuff coming into the HubSpot is going to be determined based on the prompts that you give it as well. So the better we can prompt it, the better results we're going to get.
HubSpot's value proposition was always trying to get as many tools into one place so that you've got everything controlled in the one area as much as possible anyway. Not absolutely everything, but as many tools as you can. And that's going to become even more important with AI, to have all that data in the one place.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. So I think the biggest lesson is like, and it happens, that companies, yes, we go to HubSpot, we see that we have a prospective AI agent that can help us to, see which are the leads that we need to focus on, and we can send personalized emails and everything. But nothing of that is going to happen unless you have a CRM, a place to store that information, your website connected and everything. And I feel like we know that sometimes for certain companies, it is actually a big change adopting that CRM and making sure that your data at the moment is your biggest asset. So the AI is not going to do magic, or it's not going to give you a good result if you just get something generic. It's just going to be obvious. And I think we need to be very careful about that, because that is just not going to land well. But if you can actually use AI to leverage your actual data, that's the only way that you're going to be, like, I feel like sometimes the way that these tools are marketed, it feels like they're just going to solve everything for you. But it is a little bit of work on adopting and keeping that. That's the most foundational step.
Yeah, that's one thing I've noticed is that at Inbound and all these things and all the business talks that we go to these days, when they talk about AI, there's a lot of hype around, I don't have to do the work anymore because I can use this AI tool. That's the excitement around it. But I don't think people have really grasped that there's actually work to be done in engineering it so that it is actually good outputs.
Yeah.
It doesn't just
and it's a lot of
wave
work.
a magic wand.
But it's also important to it's the best investment that you can do at the moment, and sort of like really make it a process into your business to get everyone on board. I think we work a lot at Pixel trying to help businesses to adopt that CRM and everything. We actually have a blog as well on our website on a couple of tips to sort of like how to overcome the resistance sometimes to adopting something that it could really change maybe every day, but it's definitely worth it.
It is daunting though, especially if you've been in an industry for a long time, and especially with different technologies coming into the industries that you're in. And I'm flat out already. I haven't got time to learn AI, or I haven't got time to learn all these new technologies that are coming in. So especially, implementing HubSpot into your business, it can be daunting. But I think the processes we use here at Pixel to help companies adopt HubSpot is pretty good. A few of the new ones that we've just onboarded, I think the process we've used and the way we do onboard people onto HubSpot is pretty seamless. You need that hero in there, that person that takes the challenge on board in HubSpot and really takes it on board, learns all the information that needs to be learned, and then they can start sharing that around the different staff members within the business.
Yeah, that's so true.
So a little side note, Operations Hub through Inbound was renamed to Data Hub, just so you know. So
I didn't know that actually.
Yeah, so all of that sort of dynamic prompted properties in HubSpot, that's part of Data Hub.
There's also a link with HubSpot release with heaps of prompts that you can use and see. We probably should share that with everyone because that's probably handy.
And there's a nice little, so they've got connectors now from your CRM to ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini. Yeah, so you can get some awesome.
What does that mean though? Like how someone would use?
So I can prompt directly in ChatGPT and say, look at my HubSpot at the last 12 months worth of closed deals and identify my ideal customer profile based on who was associated with those deals, and can you identify any trends and where should I be focusing my marketing? that kind of prompt.
Like, that's bonkers.
Yeah.
And then it actually goes back into HubSpot and shows you all that information.
I could say, look at all my meetings. What type of customers attend my meetings, and what kind of customers ghost me on meetings? You know, like
And then the other one was like, look at the clients that I've closed, you know, and what patterns can you see in there to generate an ideal customer for me? Like, that sort of stuff is just like,
Yeah, that is so amazing.
is that real? That's not even real. Is that
So
real?
talking about meetings, hang on, I got one things that I would like to say before we finish. So we were talking about the prospect AI agent that will help you identify warm leads, and but then we have two more. So one, I think this one is a good one. It's the meeting prep agent.
Yep.
Do you want to talk about that one?
I'm excited about that one. So basically, when you have a meeting booked in your calendar, HubSpot will gather some information around any previous interactions with that contact, any deals that are open for that contact, and even any research potentially of that company, and provide a summary or talking points that you can bring into that meeting, things you should know, and suggest any questions or concerns that you should raise in that meeting. So, a classic sales method is to spend 10 to 15 minutes before any meeting preparing and researching on that contact so that you go into that meeting informed. It's going to bring that time right down because it's doing that prep for you. So very excited about that. And there is also another tool to summarize your meetings. So there's a note taker coming out that can join your meetings and summarize the meeting and send all the summary emails.
Yeah, but not only that, then it also, they say that it helps you to draft, and like it will suggest
Follow-ups, yep.
emails, exactly what you should say.
Yep.
And I think the meeting one agent also gives you prompts of what you should say and when
In the meeting?
in the meeting.
Yeah, that's the meeting prep. Yeah,
That's
for sure.
crazy.
Yeah, it's
That is
wild.
so good. I feel like, it's never going to fully replace your own ability as a human to understand and get ready, right? But I think it's just, if you are handling big database, it's it's very time consuming. It's kind of having a helper, just there to guide you.
Like a VA or
You won't even have to go to the meeting soon. You'll just let HubSpot will take the meeting for you. Just like, HubSpot, you take it, mate. Let me know how I go.
my little avatar will just be there.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we wrap up, we have one more question, but we have also a good announcement. So all these things that we were talking about, prospect agent, the meeting prep agent, that is all part of the HubSpot Sales Hub, and we are running a masterclass soon about HubSpot sales, but it's going to have all the updates. After San Francisco, we're going to go and dive a little bit deeper. And
the best ones. We'll go with the best ones because all of them is literally too many. So
it's a lot.
How many updates are there? It was like 100 and something updates.
It's so many.
I think Imanol, our account manager at HubSpot, said it was over 250.
It's crazy. Yeah. So there's a lot to unpack. So I think if you guys can make it, just join us, because first it will be free, but also we're going to go and dive deeper into all these new features that are honestly very exciting. I feel like HubSpot sales just keeps getting better.
Yeah, and I will say, if you are questioning how you can bring AI into your business, because there are many tools out there and many AI engines, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude. I've just jumped onto Perplexity, which is a really interesting one. You can sort of be left like, okay, it's cool, but how do I bring it into my business? HubSpot brings it into your business because you're bringing it into your processes, into the growth plans of your business. So I think it's a very easy way to start introducing AI into your business.
Yeah, I agree.
And the thing too is that there's so many platforms, and you'll end up on 15 platforms where HubSpot links it all together. They're all just plugged into one.
I'm paying for a lot of AI subscriptions at the moment.
Yeah, we are.
It's getting bigger and bigger, the list.
Yeah.
You love it.
Well, so to wrap up, I just wanted to sort of ask you guys, I guess, each one of you, what was your main takeaway, and perhaps what you were most excited to try out, or in the next few months after this massive release?
My main takeaway probably is that things have changed, and we're not going to be able to sit here and do what worked for us in the past 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. Things are changing rapidly, and we need to adapt and change our way of thinking around sales and marketing. If you don't move now, you are going to be left behind very quickly.
Yeah.
Obviously, AI is massive, and I think Nath touched on this a little bit earlier, which was just the AEO. Like, this is a big part of my job, my role here at Pixel. Just switching things from SEO to AEO. So trying to create more content, which is more AI optimized. So, for example, previously we had a big focus on keywords. So when people search for a particular keyword, it pops up in SEO. That's how we ranked. Now we have to focus a little bit more on long tail keywords, so more like question-based sort of content that we're creating. So, and we need to get very specific with the questions that people are asking and searching for, and that's going to help us rank a little bit higher on AI and with the AI searches. So that's really interesting, and there's definitely a lot of work and there's a lot of technique involved in generating that sort of content. So I'm interested to see what sort of results we get with our clients just based off that sort of stuff. So yeah, I mean, that's just tip of the iceberg because there's so much information that came out of HubSpot that weekend. But yeah, there's some fun stuff that we're going to start playing around with. So
yeah, well, I guess the main takeaway that from everything that I read, and it's something that I don't want people to think, like when we're talking about AI and all these tools that are out there to help us, thinking, oh, that's easy. Marketing now is easy. You can just do it with the AI. And I think
it's
the messaging is harder than ever.
Yeah.
It's like the expectations are massive.
Yeah.
Like you have to be so quick and everywhere and very personal. It's just like getting harder than ever. Like
it's not taking our jobs. It's scaling our expectations of output.
we didn't even mention video. Like video is such a big part of the conversation over the week as well. Everything's going video. Everything's going video. Like, I mean, I think this has been around for a little while already, but there was a massive focus on like YouTube
More
and
so,
a lot of the video platforms.
More than normal. Yep.
Part of the loop was talking about being on multiple platforms. So
everywhere.
All the platforms.
Everywhere.
You got to be on all the platforms.
That's why I'm saying it's getting harder, but we do. I think the main takeaway was that it's sort of combining the human creativity and connection with AI to scale and bring you more efficiencies.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to rely on AI to actually create your content, you're not going to succeed.
Yeah.
It's just not going to work.
Don't be an AI zombie.
No, exactly. You need to have your human part of your company.
Yeah.
But it is an exciting time anyway, especially for a small business, because you have these tools to help you scale what maybe in the past it will be very hard to achieve.
Absolutely.
So I think
cool.
in that sense, it is, if you are on board with it, it can be a very exciting time.
Absolutely.
come to our masterclass.
Yeah, come to our masterclass.
Dude, it's some interesting stuff. And if you're a business owner, it's interesting. Man.
I love rapid fire masterclasses where I just pump out heaps and heaps of tips. Can you imagine this time how many they're going to be?
Yeah. We need to redraft it all with all these changes
Yeah.
because it's heaps of information. But it's going to be good. Just come.
Yeah.
It will be fun.
It's free. And it's online. So you don't even have to leave your house. You can sit at home.
Yeah, but I do
in your
like when
underwear,
people
whatever
come
you
to our
wanna do.
office. You can also come to our office, and I like that better.
Yeah.
If you can, just come.
Nice. All right.
Okay, thank you guys so much. That was very fun.
Thanks, guys. Talk soon.
Cool.
See ya.